Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of From No Crypto to No Crypto. I'm your host, the Crypto Coach, Blockchain Wayne, and today we're joined with Max from TotalSig. Max, thanks for joining us today.
You're very welcome. Thanks for reminding me here.
Absolutely, man. I definitely want to tell everybody about TotalSig and go through all the different things that you guys are doing there and why it's so important what you're building. But before we jump into that, man, can you tell us a little bit about your background? What'd you do? Did you do anything prior to getting into crypto and Web3? And then what got you into this space?
Right. So before that, I've been actually a developer. Overall, I have like 15 years of professional developer experience. I've been building startups in Switzerland, in Netherlands, in London, in Estonia as well. I've seen a lot, right? So I've been through many things. I went to the crypto in 2017, and since then I'm actually building wallets. I consult clients, help them with security. I actually, I know a lot of in the crypto space, right? So I've been telling people, some of my clients were Paxful, very quite sound wallets as well that I helped with certain aspects. So yeah, basically I'm a tech at heart and entrepreneur at mind.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you've used a lot of different wallets over the years, I'm sure, and you've seen some of the good and the bad and probably what's needed from a lot of those wallets, right? And is that kind of what led you guys to build out TotalSig?
Yeah, so 2017 we actually tried to build, we actually were building a wallet which was called Citywise. Back then it was completely different story than it's right now. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, for the business side. The tech was I was CTO there, but we didn't manage to establish the business because it's really hard to build, business around the wallet. But right. Wallets, since then, actually, what I saw personally, we saw that wallets were, appearing every day basically. And in a year, there was 300 wallets that we there were because it's really easy for anybody to take the wallet because all you need to do is just wrap up a signature, you have the lib, right, written in GS. You can take it, pick it up, build a nice interface around it, and that's it. Yeah. But there's not so many wallets I've seen that actually were facing multi-sigs, and I know that multi-sigs, even now, if you're gonna go and check out, some big blockchain ecosystems, a lot of them still actually subsidize, give grants for multi-sig creation. So, despite there's 300 wallets, multi-sigs are still being left behind, and the multi-sigs is is a very important topic for when you want to store a lot of money, and when you want to decentralize actually the control over these funds. And this industry is about decentralizing because you cannot trust people. We know that there was a lot of things that actually went wrong when there was one person in controlling the things. And the problem is still there. It's not solved. There's no unified wallet where you can just go and and just with a nice user experience control your funds decentralized.
Before we jump into the features of multi-sig, for those that may be listening or watching this video that may not understand what multi-sig is, can you explain that to the listeners as far as what multi-sig is and why it's important?
Yeah, basically, long story short, multi-sig is also a wallet that is controlled by multiple people, and there is basically a consensus, right? So let's say there's 5 people, and minimum of 3 of them should provide their approval for the transaction to go through. So basically, that's the idea about the multi-sig in a nutshell. Yeah, that's I would say let's keep it simple. Like if that explains it.
Right. And you know, I've seen, when I think of multi-sig, a lot of what I think about is on the institutional side, right? Businesses, business treasuries, things like that. But our conversation that you and I had when we first talked, and then when we had a follow-up call after we met in person, was basically that, I mean, anybody, there's multiple reasons why people need a multi-sig, right? I mean, it could be for their own personal holdings. It could be for an inheritance, where if I've got 4 kids and I leave something to all of them, then they have a shared wallet that at least 3 of the 4, 2 of the 4, depending on what parameters you set, would have to be able to approve that for it to go through. Those are the types of things that can be done. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's correct. Like,
Okay.
I mean, like, despite the simplicity of the, like, you know, like, I tried to explain the things like in a very simple terms, right? But the areas of multi-sig application, actually, like, you know, it ranges, you know, like from like group control to like personal security to inheritance. It's just like, you know, like the multi-sig actually came, you know, like as a term, like as a multi-signature, right? So like,
Right.
it's like a part of the traditional wallet where there is like a single signature that you have to put under your transaction, like in Bitcoin or in Ethereum. Multi-sig means like a type of a wallet where you actually have to, like, it used to be traditional seen this way. It's type of wallet where you have to put multiple signature to make a spend, and usually that means like multiple signature by different, you know, parties, entities, you know. But nowadays multi-sig actually means like something a little bit different. It's because of the way how multi-sigs are built today, and they actually can enhance your private security as well. And there's actually some wallets that are built on a multi-sig under the hood that actually like provides like a better security for the private user as well.
Okay. Yeah, so that lot more use cases than I thought, because like I said, initially when I used to hear multi-sig, I immediately thought like business entities, they're controlling treasuries, because that's where you heard it the most. But it's something that really everybody, whether you share a wallet with somebody or you're just looking to enhance your own personal security, you should learn about what multi-sig is, why it's important, instead of just if you know, if a wallet on my phone gets compromised from that one device, they could drain funds. Whereas if I had a multi-sig set up, it could prevent that by needing another, you know, at least one or more other signatures to authorize that spend.
This is exactly actually the case you mentioned is exactly the case where, you know, like a private person would benefit as well, because, you know, like when you think about like security nowadays, like what's your option? You can basically there's like a single device where your funds are stored, right? Like there's a single device that controls your private key. But what if this device is being compromised, right? So like even hardware wallets doesn't give you like the protection from, you know, like that doesn't give you like 100% protection, bulletproof protection, like from compromise, right? They're updated, right. And through this updating, there's still some, you know, like some information may leak, including the private key. So your PC is connected to the internet. And may get compromised. Your mobile phone is connected to the internet and may get compromised. But you know, if we think about like you actually own like multiple devices, and if we split your private key over these multiple devices, right? So that you would have to confirm a transaction for multiple devices. It means like you still, as a private person, you still like own like one single account. But actually, you know, like you actually doing a multi-sig then, and if one of your accounts is being compromised or is lost, it's not a problem, because you can always create 2 out of 3 multi-sig, meaning that there's like 3 devices in, like, you know, like participating in that multi-sig, but any 2 of them are required to, you know, to make approval. So if you lose one, it's not a problem. But if one of these devices is compromised, your account, you know, like has less chances, your basic account has would have less chances to be hacked, and you'd have less chances to lose money because the hacker would have, like, figure out that they like what's your PC, where's your PC, where's your mobile, and it's, increases the security. Basically, we're not talking about like bulletproof. We, in security we always talk about like increasing the complexity of attack, and that increases the complexity of attack, and actually quite significantly.
Yeah, most people today have multiple devices, right? This is not like 10 years ago where somebody may have one device. We've got mobile, we've got laptop, PC, tablets. I mean, so a single person can create their own multi-sig. So that's good to know. I mean, that's something that I think most people don't think about. We always talk about wallet security in terms of protect your private keys, hide your seed phrase, have multiple copies, and now there's some MPC wallets that allow you not to have to worry about that. But there's still other aspects, but still that compromising of a device is important if you have basically multiple checkpoints, which is what a multi-sig is. So that's really great to know. Appreciate that insight. Now, tell us, we've talked about multi-sig, what multi-sig is, why it's important. Tell us more about TotalSig and what you guys have built there.
So basically, TotalSig is a multi-sig, right? So it's I would say, like, in a very simple words, like it's yet another wallet, but that has actually one important feature. Any account on this wallet is controlled by multiple devices, users or devices, doesn't matter. So the wallet supports like multiple blockchains. It's not a single multi-sig, unlike any other multi-sigs out there. We support different blockchains and we support different protocols. We support Bitcoin, we support Ethereum, we support Solana, we support Tron, and basically the forks of this protocol, of this like blockchain protocols, and we plan to add more. We also support like Web3 integration. So if you want to interact with smart contracts, that's also an option. And we actively developing, adding new features. We are listening to the feedback from our users. It's very challenging to build something like that. There's a lot of things that may go wrong. There's like in terms of like connection, because it requires a lot of like technical knowledge, a lot of understanding, very deep understanding of how things are built on blockchain, and sometimes it's not even enough for us to we have to go deep into how blockchain works to make things work, because what's available, like what any other wallet can get away with, right? We can't really rely on that. We have to actually go and check out how the transaction is built, like how to compile it. And yeah, sometimes it's a very interesting journey, but it's also very challenging and complex journey. But I think that what we're building is something that is needed, in the industry. It's just simply missing there.
Yeah, and I can tell you, it's definitely important. It's the conversation I don't think most people are having to realize what's needed. So you said right now you have Bitcoin, ETH, Solana. What was the other? What
Tron.
Do you support?
Tron.
Okay.
Tron, yeah, but also their forks. So basically, if we talk about Bitcoin protocol, it's Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. If we talk about Ethereum, then it's Ethereum, it's Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, Avalanche, Optimism, Arbitrum, and one of our recent one of the things that we recently added, actually, is support for Taiko testnet. It's actually a big blockchain that I also managed to connect during the event in Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically we are expanding, and we want that's what we do. We partner up with blockchains and expanding the amount of blockchains that we support, and and there's actually multiple blockchains right now in the pipeline. We have to go deep into their tech stack, figure out how the things works. It's very interesting, very challenging, but it's very cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good to hear because it's definitely something that's needed no matter what network you're operating across. So it's important to have that. Um, and so are there any on the roadmap that are coming soon?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
any?
So obviously you guys.
Yeah.
There's some other blockchains. Um, like, should I mention that?
Yeah, if you can talk about it, please mention
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. We talked to Radix guys. We also in a conversation with yeah, like Cosmos is also in our pipeline. We were looking at Tron. Sorry, at Ton, Ton.
Okay. Yeah.
And basically, like, you know, like we're currently basically like looking at two things right now, like the ecosystem of the blockchain and what like a direct partnership. If we can make the partnership with the blockchain, of course it's a priority for us.
Right.
But besides that, we just go for the major blockchain protocols, and we want to be one. Oh yeah, also like another blockchain I forgot, like, is IOTA. IOTA is
Okay.
releasing their EVM compatible chain. Unfortunately, as far as I'm concerned, there is no way to actually add MPC multi-sig. This is the type of multi-sig we're using in our wallet. MPC multi-sig for IOTA blockchain, but IOTA EVM, yes, we can support it, and I've been in touch with their with the guys from their team, so we are also adding them. Yeah, basically we're, you know, like we're going. We cannot add like every blockchain in a matter of, you know, like minutes or even days. It would take a lot of time, but I'm sure result will gonna be great.
Yeah, priority, right? I mean, when you add Cosmos, you'll have all the Cosmos side chains probably available as well too, right? Just like when you do Ethereum,
Exactly.
you have all the EVM chains. So that definitely would provide, like, your coverage would expand exponentially. So
Yeah.
That,
But you know,
absolutely.
like in introduction, you know, like checking out, like getting listed like every blockchain is like is hard. Like this is, for example, like a white paper of Cosmos, like
Yeah.
actually lying right on my table. Something that I should be reading on is like Solana lying somewhere over there, like Solana white paper. Like, yeah. So basically, you know, like when we list, like we have to do like lots of research, and but yeah.
Looks like you like to go old school on the research, right? Print it out on paper to be able to read it instead of reading it on the screen.
Well, yeah, because, you know, like I can actually then just go and chill, maybe at, you know, like lying in the bed, like reading that. I cannot do that with my PC because, like, I have
True.
like a large screen, and I don't like to reading like from a smaller screens. But this is something, you know, like yeah, it's actually very nice to print it, but not every time we have this available. So or like have enough materials in the paper, you know, like that we can print out and read it. So some, like, we also do a lot of online research. It's just like I would say, like, a lot of blockchains provide, you know, like us opportunity to read it from the paper, but a lot of blockchains just, you know, like you have to go and read the code of the node. It's happened with us, that the material is not simply available, and we have to, you know, like we have to basically piece by piece, you know, like step by step, like blind, like even like, you know, like blindly figuring it out, because there's not even documentation. It happened. I'm not gonna be mentioning blockchains where we struggle with that, but there were some of them where things, you know, like with things were just like it was like so hard. And I spoke to, you know, like some people when I mentioned, like, oh yeah, we integrated this blockchain, and they were like, oh, we actually have a team like of like 4 people who spent like 6 months and they still didn't manage to do it. I'm like, yeah, we made it in 1 month. Welcome to our world.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're not just creating another wallet for that ecosystem. You're having to enable the multi-sig on it as well. So it's I guess it's hard when you're I don't know that many people. I haven't talked to any other projects that are companies that are building out building out multi-sig. I think some of them are focusing on building MPC wallets, alone, but not something that's multi-sig as well.
Yeah, because like what the wallet business is very challenging actually. I've been into this space like since 2017. I know a lot about that. Because the wallets, they don't have direct revenue stream, unlike pretty much any other service in the industry. But the wallet is something that everybody needs, and it becomes like very challenging. Like, how do you make money with a wallet? So a lot of wallets, like basically, the thing why there's not so many multi-sigs, I can tell you that, is that like wallet business is built so that you actually like basically build an interface as cheap as possible, and then start like taking people as much as possible by providing them different features. But the thing is that wallet makes money only by when users are doing some activities in their wallet, right? So by providing services like swaps or on ramp, off ramp, and things like that, right. Staking. But multi-sigs actually take a very narrow, a very small fraction of the whole users on the market. It's not even like 1%, it's less.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of it requires a lot of resources and a lot of tech knowledge to actually to actually provide a solution for multi-sig, because before that, multi-sigs were actually, if you think about traditional multi-sigs, then Bitcoin multi-sigs are completely different from Ethereum multi-sigs. They work completely different. They have a completely different, like caveats and so on and so forth. Completely different UX. But with the MPC multi-sigs, it's actually solved. But still, the problem is that it's like, despite multi-sigs are complex by themselves, MPC multi-sigs are even more complex. But they have one great advantage. They provide the exactly same user experience regardless of the chain. And that's a very important advantage, because as we know, like the adoption starts with a good user experience, and that's exactly what MPC multi-sig provides. But there are some actual players who are doing multi-sigs, but they're selling it to big corporate players for a lot of money. And we're like these guys on the street that is just like, no, that's wrong. Like we were gonna be there like to make it accessible to everybody.
Multi-sig for everybody.
And I think multi-sig for everybody, because like I think I personally believe that's where revolution may start. Like, not revolution, but like when we basically get our product into the form where it's gonna be like easy for people, and we will gonna explain the use cases that you can solve with a multi-sig. I think that's where like it will gonna click for users that, okay, multi-sig is a thing. It's currently, it sounds like like when I talk to people, like, yeah, well, we're actually fine at our company, I'm the guy who controlling the private key, we don't need that. And I'm like, but it's actually like traditional thing, like in the crypto industry, like until you actually go there and show somebody like, okay, this is how it works, that's where it clicks. And when it's clicked at mass, then you're gonna see the magic happening.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to bring you on the podcast after we met, is because I had that misconception prior to, because I've only seen multi-sig from those institutional players that, you're right, that are selling it to companies for money, and not a tool, not basically a product that anybody could use. And so when I saw what you were doing, I started thinking about the concept. It's important for people to use multi-sig, whether they just want to diversify, like protect the access to their own individual assets to where they're using multiple their own devices, or they want to have like a family wallet or a small like you think about what wallets are going to be used, right? Inheritance are when you talk about organizations or nonprofits that maybe have a shared wallet that are going to start using crypto as well, to where everybody can easily have access to that. And you're right. I mean, user experience is important. That's the key to getting people to use the wallet. Some of these wallets are so complex. I think a new user will download it and set it up, and they're confused. But I can tell you, from I've set up I've tested out the TotalSig. I've downloaded it on multiple devices for myself just to try it out, and it's very easy to use, very simple for anybody, to where we've got to get your everyday user to start thinking about that as another level of security. Because yeah, if I have a certain wallet and maybe I keep a few $100s worth of crypto on it, that way I can spend it whenever I'm going somewhere or traveling, then I don't really need I may not need multi-sig on that, right? So maybe not need it for that. But whether it's my larger amounts of funds, whether it's I want to share access with other people or a group, and I think that's going to be where we're start to see it go more mainstream. So I really think that the adoption cycle for multi-sig is gonna accelerate with people like you, like building out TotalSig and getting it to where the everyday person is thinking about it as well.
Yeah, adoption is definitely a thing, right? So, and
Yeah.
I believe there's like multi-sig can contribute to adoption heavily. As we had on our conversation, on our previous conversation, I was mentioning that we're actually solving the problem of seed phrase, because seed phrase is the biggest, like biggest thing, like in adoption. Like is the biggest challenge in adoption, because
Right.
If you have a seed phrase, you cannot say like this is the thing that your mom can use. Like we want to make it so easy that your mom, your granny can use it, like because they use like, for example, debit cards, right? So you can use Technic. Like they can use like normal like digital money. Like why can't they use like cryptocurrency? This, like, it's also digital money, right? So this is our challenge basically, and I believe that actually there's certain things in our roadmap that will gonna help us to get there, and will gonna help us to get away from the traditional seed phrases, like completely forget about them, so that you'll be remembering about the times when you had to write the seed phrase. You'll be like, oh my god, that was like so wrong. Like
That's going to be compared to what we think about when we think about writing a check out of a checkbook today, right? That's
exactly
kind of antiquated.
Exactly.
Not many people do that anymore. Yeah.
It's a past century. It's a previous century. What are you talking about?
yeah. Absolutely. All right, Max. So, hey, as we wrap up, I definitely want to give you a chance. Share with everybody where they can find out more about TotalSig, and also follow you guys.
Yeah, basically we have Twitter, we have Telegram. Yeah, so we have Twitter, we have Telegram, we have a website. It's totalsig.com. You can just go there. There's like material available about our wallet. There's like videos, like short YouTube demos. We try to keep them like super short, explaining like how to use it, for every different chain, so that people can like see it like very fast and get familiar with the wallet. We try to attend conferences, mostly like the largest one, like the largest conferences in the space. So if you guys want to reach out, please feel free. You can find my contacts, like you can get in touch with us in a Telegram. We're gonna be happy to answer any of your questions. We're gonna be happy to assist you, listen to your feedback. If you have like certain features, if you want to ask like for certain features, we're gonna be happy to add them. So get in touch with us. We're happy, like for every client. We're happy to provide a good service for every client, basically.
All right. So make sure to follow TotalSig. Get on the website, check it out, see what they're building, and try it out. If if you got some familiarity with Web3, try it out, test it out, see that user experience. You're going to see the onboarding is pretty easy with it. So definitely check it out. And that's it for today. Thanks everybody for listening. Max, thanks for your time today. Any final words before we part?
Well, thanks for inviting me again. I'll you know, like, I wish you guys all the best in your in your with the Theo project. So,
Thanks.
but yeah,
Well,
thanks for inviting me here.
absolutely. We're looking forward to collaborating on some things here in the near future. So definitely thanks again for joining us. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care, everybody.
Ciao.